platform yesina yesia adie. Yen chere hono. Ye beto ensa afre Sofmame Agnes Echampon. Na wedi yenim ewa opening prayer no.
Mpabacha woni mpaye. Odonfo de mobrohunfo ade nyina sotumfo. Bata mpaye da wasi wa ye kanfo. Wone demu nyina wo bambo no hwe so pawa domo do. Omo bro so na wona maboye ho ba be sisi. Na me therefore ye da wase da wase. Niwa, no se. Ye mobo da ya ba wa nimu. Ayan ho na boye. Tintini yenjidi asi wo mu. Ma yentini no bebre. Nti fa ye ho nyina anto so no krem. Boy, me bibia ye no. Aye bi ahye odi funfun so enimonyam. Anwumre oma awa ya ba wanim ye de ho hwa wonsa. Ye so se kan ye ho na mpo aye. Cheche wa kwan bra ye sua ho nsem abribie ho nsem enya ne ye. Nti fa mobrapa. Nti fa ntete afoforo. Nti fa tete amante ne maba awai. E wa asafo yi mu.
Recording in progress.
Aja ye slow. Anwumre dwumadie ye de show sa sonko kwan so. Abawa wo be die ni ye de ne show nsa nyansa ehunmu nti ase adwene firi soro fadom no hwe nkonkon no gu no so nyansa ma de be ma ye anwumre no nya de be ye ya awie brem na yetim de abobrapa na se wo pia wie o anadwo emu bia anye firi muto na emom ne afata wa henie no eda waso domfo so etie ye nsufra anwumre efiri se ahobrase akwa so na yasre ewo ndimafo ne agye nkwa Kristo Yesu dinimu nti amen.
Amen. Ma yeda sepa nyame enhirawo.
Amen.
Ye twa ye dwumadie no so no ye beto nsa afre Sofmame Abigirl Jima na ode ya kenkansem no amaye.
Akenkansem a edi nkan no yehuno wo Jeremiah etraduasa nchichemu a eye edunso pamcho making kind na metrechre wo kro na masa wepre kro erade asem nie efri se wo frɛ wo de wapam no Sion a obiara mmisa na chiri kwan amen.
Amen. Sofmame yeda se nyame enhirawo.
Amen.
Enne. Okay, sorry, mpacho betimi atwaso.
Eye mienu.
Okay.
Okay, kan sem ba ko a eka ho so ye behu no wo Korintofo ngoma a etoso mienu. Etiridu mienu chichemu nkono. Ose me se madom doso maw na metumi wie peye wo mreye mu. Enti mede enije pi mehwohwa me ho. Me mreye ho mmom na Kristo ahoden abetena me so. Amen.
Amen. Nyame enhirawo. Enne enuanom nyame ayaya adom. Yenya ye sister baako a obedi yenim ewa adesua yi mu. Ene ya adesua no efa kidney diseases eho. Eno nti no ye sister obedi yenim no ne din de Abigirl Boatemaa. Ye sister aye adwuma bebre ewo efa food and nutrition eho. Oye registered dietitian na sisi a ye kase ni dwumadie no odino ewo California. Eho no oye renal dietitian a ohwe omo amwenya chronic kidney diseases any end stage renal diseases a omo dialysis eso. Ene nyame ayaya dom ye nuabai ewo ye ntem ha. Ono ene bedi yenim ewa adesua nim no wa kyerɛkyerɛ nneɛma a yebetimi aye ede aboye ho ban efi yare bone no mu. Na ansa na ye nuaba Abigirl Boatemaa ebekasa no yebesre ama ye sister okay, so yebesre ama Sofmame mataboahe edi ye nuaba na enim with a special so ye ma ye hwem yi de ye ntimi nti oye dwumadie so without a song. eno nti no yebesre sof mame matabo ahe o line so ampacho maye nwom baako ne emfendi ye nuaba nanim sof mame anosia na nwom ni sia ne ebete ne no eye ye nuaba Abigirl Boatemaa a obedi adesua nanim amaye.
Okay. Ede Nyankopɔn si wakonya ode ama enyume nso. Eto me da kwan hwefo enyumoma no. Huni edi 264. To the kind de worry no ewie no. Ankamenya kweja from Edutiti huti funum Emma wonkra kondo struman Jeotiti ni musukum Jehovah kai titi versu Nyan wujuma ni wujuma Jedian ku mari mauji Shehu krungu Jesu. Amen. Amen.
Amen.
Amen.
Mpacho ejumeso.
Me pacho nti
Okay.
this is Abigirl ubetimi atwa adesua ne so ubetimi astart amaye.
Thank you. Madam Munina Master, Madam Chia from Riverside Ghanaian SDA Church of Munina. I hope that Nyamiamdom Ubia Hoye. And I'm going to share my screen. Send a very slides now in the Baba Babeka. A Huasem, Mumpanchemina, computer idiot. Okay, intina ye baba be bibi kakra afa chronic kidney disease, any stage renal disease, management, and say Dr. Catcher will say bia when you chronic kidney disease, any stage na e kwan be na be faso e de abon company. Na si I want us to start with some facts kakra bi e wo hono. Inti se wo hwe US Hanumina na ofani part 7 age na hono chronic kidney disease ebetimi affect nipa baako. Inti out of 7 US adults no it can affect nipa baako. Afi ye hwehwemu mo a ye hu se omo tanya chronic kidney disease no 1 in 3 obi a ebi o diabetes. And also 1 in 5 obi a or hypertension. Say o form ni na na affect nipa 5 by mu baako or hypertension. And I say, often nipa 3 or more chronic kidney disease are emu baako obi or diabetes. I think so 9 in 10 adults are more chronic kidney disease. Or more di nimu say or more chronic kidney disease. Na say yare no ehye nipadua ni mu ache ba nipa ni nhumie. I think yare so a more common memu than a mema. 14% no usually affected a ma 14% more chance of being than a mema. And the reason why I say a man most of the time you're more prone to seeing UTIs. I think so some of the autoimmune diseases may say be a lupus no. Usually are very common with a ma in tina a ma timid develop chronic kidney disease no. I think so it affected 20% of the time they non-Hispanic blacks. Maybe no. Into that means yay Ghana free no. Your chances no say also say be hypertension and so your chance high, diabetes your chance higher. Your rain no yeah blacks no your chance no so to me kosher. It could be various be work with health and I say it be genetics and I say be a didium. and into my chances are yenya chronic kidney disease no and also so timi high. I think so very common among 65 years or more or more kakra. However, before that was how I not research me but say dear may sure say if you move for by you saying most of the time no you more among almost 20s so more 30s in 40s no adults apparently nipa we around that age group and so and I feel pediatrics and so sometimes no be bitimi see Emma almost so bitimi but first, the way I need to say, young penny from Kwana or Munini certain age be a kidney no a holiday no certain and yen is I be. This is say, yeah, you walk your age and work from so say you're very careful. I feel so yes, be but there is no cure. So Dr. Catcher say, oh, chronic kidney disease stage a womb, there is no cure. And I said, ultimate reverse no the obetimi aya say obetimi ahwe ho yie wapomudin wo health na fe wa control so na be ya yare no em progressing konani nti kakra e wo ho no and me pese ye hye ne ma miensa bi nso so ye can chronic kidney disease em say obetimi nso ate end stage renal disease and asa obete acute kidney injury. So chronic kidney disease no ye say u kidney no ahoden no so ate inti ahoden no so ate and it happened over time. Usually no say it happened longer than 3 months forward you categorize or say chronic kidney disease and you can say acute kidney injury you say BBSC all of a sudden it may happen all of a sudden it won't say be call and I call hospital and then you were given antibiotics and during that process no nobody now and then something one thing led to the other and now kidney no shut it down and no bit me acute kidney injury until at that point no ube here and kakra just to boost your kidney up so na be a bit me necessary and no after a while no to me tall but so when you chronic kidney disease no progress.
Hello. Hi, how are you?
When you chronic kidney disease no na say a progress and a drew baby I feel kidney need to be near Jumay Bima, a honor any friend of end stage renal disease. Until at that time, no, and I will be here dialysis and I say a kidney transplant. Until I say kakra. I feel her risk factors, no, see her or more. Nyoma, and I say it a bit me chronic kidney disease, and the kind pie diabetes. Into so her. Did my screen pause? Hello? Pachamuhu screen and I paused the screen. I think I paused it.
Yeah, but you're okay. You're good. You're good, so you can continue.
Okay, let me share it again because I don't know. I think I clicked on something and then okay. Share. Okay. And see so her risk factors now. The obi with diabetes usually with diabetes no so they medical kind no diabetes you must say blood vessels no sometimes no it's damage no say diabetes no prolong or nerves no vessels ni bebre a friend of diabetic neuropathy diseases no intisa or tiny blood vessels in say no at some point no kidney na djuma etimi say filter blood no so uhia sa vessels see intisa no nso ni hono ma na say na ho den so tia that is when etimi ema will lead to kidney disease. I feel high blood pressure. So the more blood pressure near cholesterol near bathroom na say blood vessels ni be etimi a disrupt here and also to me cause problems in my I feel so heart diseases say your arteries ni be blocked and I say damaged blood vessels anything that has to do with so blood vessels and also arteries no problems eba ho etimi ma who lead to say already. I think so obesity. See, you do kesiya sa to so we know say obesity and usually cause a denoma bebre, yare bebre, eba unipeduano. So nutrition related diseases, ne dear, said dear. Edeba bebrebe obesity inti ye sha see free obesity na fe when ya insulin no sensitivity no aye kakra inti wuntimi emma wo sugar no ye cholesterol na eba from na fe wo nya diabetes na fe de wo to endure so inti nyoma bebre inti obesity no ya de also ye hwe ni ye pa afe being black and access sometimes living Native Americans and also Asians are more prone genetically to having these diseases. In a family history, sometimes they say, "Oh, family history be a timia hereditary. Your uncle for your no kidney problem, and then they've been on a your kidney transplant, and I say at some point in their life, they had to be on dialysis. And no, usually they're normal for sample for no say or more heredity be, and I said something went wrong into kidney disease. I think so sometimes abnormal kidney structure a disrupted nerve manner a many pediano. It's also to me ladies at the older age. I think I explained it earlier, but say no in your old age you sustaining now you eat minya area. And now I dear back one me shannon so a frequent use of medication over the counter pain medications no no and what you kidney. Say her Ghana for a very self-described prescriptions. Say bibi kakra bi yewa. Yenya to me may word it's me diagnose your area. Na fe ye cheche hun ryan no. Mestre say sample when you be a ye try say ye better to na ye no so na bibia ye be consult with your doctors and I say a pharmacist and they are encofa problem dia and bread kidneys. I feel a quite bad son ye do who said will be chronic kidney disease. Usually there are 3 factors. You heard clinical no, you better medical history, so be a diabetes or high blood pressure. I feel you better physical exams and to be one we will check to see say if there is any edema and moving on, say may move on further. I'll see I say the American edema. Edema, yes, unya swelling, swelling a wall now, with insuo jina na fe wodo wa wodo nsa kan hu se the skin no a pete like a tom na embarrassment so wodo nsa kan o skin na sa wona ya ubomu se wodo nsa kan ye beba back but usually no go for no sa no retain insuo wo mo ho enti so wodo nsa kan o skin na utimu se back like embarrass and bounce back in time. I think so urine output echo from and also to me sign be mine say be a onum so we did kama but I feel all of a sudden we Johnson to me but you're not able to pee a lot during the day nothing wahe so so dear patcho and no but you're doing everything usual, you're drinking enough water and you're eating fine but you're not able to pee and also to me signs. I feel after say I clinical diagnosis near better laboratory, more labs be. And the first thing that we look at no EGFR, glomerular filtration rate into how much kidneys no air filter waste no every nipedrium. And some of these labs no usually see a regular physical routines they do all these lab no more checking my son if we're at a stage be a catcher say okay with the way our kidney filter no na one kidney disease and I say ability to this into your EGFR as well. And you have urine albumin creatinine ratio and also so be me say be a upia proteins they will more and also detect MIU. I think you have serum creatinine a waste product accumulating mugen. So that let us know say okay you're not filtering or blood ni into waste edasubum. And I hear urinalysis into Johnson. Nanti, what you say, receive blood womb and as a protein, said a kind, and any other abnormalities, a sugar womb, like anything, be her, say, be more. Okay, and yet means so small, I call ultrasound, and I imaging into ultrasound, near visualize their kidney, no structure, no any size, and also to me, boy, and I feel. Chronic kidney disease, no, there are so many stages. Into first, no, you hear stage 1. Stage 1, no, sometimes, no, well, filtration rate, no, really good. However, kidney function, no, it decrease. Into who say, sometimes, no, there is kidney damage, but only no, other kidney functions, be okay. You bet me who say be a protein, say, well, junsum, and I say be a small malco image, now you who say kidney, no, the structure no swate kakra. Symptoms no usually with stage 1 no ebo on ma won say kidney disease. Into most of the time no dey ma no rate nipa bebre ne say or call be an physicals no and say sometimes you see the doctor no and then they send you out to the lab and then you go do your labs. Na say yan share one call back and I say yan free one can't share wa when near man hoswa and no etimi Emma and so when easy stage 1 no de open message. But maybe try to one me a stage and then we talk about management for all of them. After stage 2, no, sometimes no, it becomes a little bit clear because blood work now, you have the filtration rate no at the swat. After so kidney function, one can out to say and yet to set first the 80 million. For some people, no, sometimes no symptoms need to me very mild into one video. But for some people, no, they kind of say, oh, better so more can I say, Abia or Mupia as or who still mujo. Into then that is your sign. Say also, catch your doctor, Nafi or Mushishim, Emma, Yehudia, Koso. Management, Nasa lifestyle, and also so you really make chichim kakra amai. And then stage 3. Stage 3, no bit my stage 3A, and that's stage 3B. I had a very noticeable because when we say lab work, no doctor, I had the doctor be no ma or ben Mrs. Adibi, and that's you wouldn't miss that. In took a lab work, now him back, I will be who say or usually only in red, yellow, green, while who say line or atiaba red, not just when who say a honum problem or at this stage, no, kidney no is still functioning. Until you say on a regular day, no, your kidneys are able to function 100%. Now over stage 3, no, you say now no kidney name work 50%. It a little bit more noticeable. Who say what more? There is more we are more fatigue. I feel swelling. No say the America say untimin so be because the kidney no. Ahoden aba from no retain in no ni peduane nti wa say unya a little bit of edema swelling no na say ene wo mpa means so I feel who say upia a change kakra bo no metimi ye for me and I say upia no timi ye very dark unya muscle cramps so chest and yoma bebre wow who say peduane nkoya na just who say ahanum ne dia I have to see the doctor. And you was stage 4. Stage 4 also so ahanum ne dia chest a very severe a very noticeable what chest kidney no functioning no yenfa say at this time na about 25% into there is more waste buildup. And when there is more waste buildup, the way I nyakopon ye nipadua why not strong to say because say ye did not kidney nedman say air filter out amayen. At this point, because say your kidney no, is not able to filter out no, we are very nauseous. Anytime they are like I say bad vomiting. And so that's your sign more who say fat foforo nsa megum because nipaduano ohuni say I think that I'm not able to filter it out. Inti as all the foforo bar is trying to bring it out. Inti most of the signs nausea, vomiting, muscle cramps, be swelling near demon very, very visible. Maybe I make us say pain, cramp or back no which and I said we ham which baby a kidneys no a one. I think so it moves changes no urinate here, color no asa. If you're able to urinate, so means urinate here, how no na everyone who say a cough from cry. Just say we be like it is so visible, so who said they say kidney disease, and I say be a doctor catcher who say a hand no dear, me dream menim kakra. I face stage 5. Stage 5 no in a year na the last stage no. A hand the withdraw doctors no be prepare or mama catcher say no kidney function. Ahoden no so atekra na ahoden no so no o more prepare your mind say ubehia dialysis say ubehia a different machine bi e wo outside no beboa a filter blood na ma na anya sanso so na wo bi ofie na ebi obedonate kidney amawa. This will be the time you work on all that. No so symptoms near very, very severe. Inti wa no be say unipeduano neuron sisi we are very fatigued, bone my fever, all swell, urine production a pop-on. And even if you're able to make urine a color near very HNG, very foamy. Ultimate breathe because ultimate retaining so no crampo or lungs empty. Nyama bebre na stage 5 no edeba end stage renal disease. Afe yeah management no from stage 1 no to stage 4, and then if you management hanum na you beko the chat on the plan. So for stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, stage 4 no, I think what chances say when you stage 1 no a be progress it to stage 5 no sometimes no a dependent on nipa no and no lifestyle. There are so many people doctors catch them say more chronic kidney disease stage 2, but they lived they never really had to be on dialysis, and I said they didn't need any transplant because they make some diet changes and I say behavior changes. And see at this point, you know, say you catch her at stage 1 and at stage 2 the first thing say will be our diabetes na person obe control diabetes ni pa obenum ndro na ye dem ausenum no afen so as a nutritionist no ye bemu a ye beboa with wedidie into so obe balance sugars na out so na be ya unya so much complications e best say wo vessels no nerves no indeed our goal at this time no is to keep our nerves no vessels na healthy for you there wouldn't be too much damage. In stage 1, stage 2, no, we make sure that we control diabetes. We DPR now, you're pairing a good source of protein with carbohydrate. So na be ya sugar no balance na encourage back from. There wouldn't be too much fluctuations with the sugar levels. I think so hypertension. This is the time you would want to make sure say who stay away from processed foods, any salty foods, and so this would be the time because stage 1 and stage 2 no, the control no, so na they are or hypertension on your day, and some kosher be big, na emphasize say vessels no, will be here, so will be use it for filtering of the blood. No. I think so you ever catch or say the health diet, and see be caught on a low protein diet. Into reserve kidney no person kidney no be adwuma bebrebe into you catch them for bebrebe say you need good sources of protein. Yes, and but this is the time better so kakra, and then you're eating fish kakra, chicken and so quite and nama any so fatty I feel so protein like plant-based protein also more the hodin a kidney no enye adwuma bebrebe no eno no ni ubehia no more I think so regular physical exercise. So baba be exercise be. Oh bet net ne wapomuden no say oh be ma o blood flow no aye easy. Akọ aba ombre bebrebe. Just say go line say stage 1. Go line say stage 1 to stage 2 then there. Nyoma oya ebe kipi yare no wo baby e wona eno na wo ye ne sa pepepe afi so be follow instructions with every met be a dia ma unko fa fufu bi nka nchi. Oh, did it end? I had sorry, I think the slide with it cut short. My name is about end stage now. Okay. Into your management not for Yahoo management not for CKD, not the first few steps. No. Pacho muhu mi screen and I mean sanche. Okay, Pacho afe do muhu. Okay. Enti medase. Enti Yahoo se stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, stage 4 no de ye bit my bibi bebre afa ho a ye hwe yapomudin ye didie mu exercise ye no nwura doctors no de amaye no ye no na pepepe no eno betimi aboa ama yare no progression no aye limited and contentem sa na fe omo omenya end stage renal disease no so e omo a omenhu na omentimi make changes no madru any stage renal disease no ede no mbetimi aye na kakra me pesa me kan fa na e be go over when say yeah, I know so sometimes in the heading, but with so much life-saving treatments e wo honom no etimi bo nipa no obey dialysis ne dia in heading, but preserve life, let me put it that way. In stage 5 no dey who say honom no dey wudru you have to prepare yourself for dialysis and I say transplant because we kidney function just a swatch cra. And when they get to that point now doctor catch you na so be dialysis are two options. Ubetimi a hemodialysis and I say peritoneal dialysis. Hemodialysis no betimi akọ in center obekọ baby na akọ clean blood and I say wow betimi aye no fie. Nti no usually we go 3 times a day, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and I say Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. Into ko na yakwa yahuku to the machine 3 to 4 hours. Na the way umudro sitieno so umudu beba that means that we need to filter our blood no longer until ube take time kakra. Na fe achakra 4 hours na yakwa filter our blood nama. And I say ube opt for peritoneal dialysis and no you try o abdomen no you try ye the catheter eshim na ye the ye ma packet of dialysis in so bi nti no o ye utimi ye obi bia o fie utimi to kwan pra like you can travel around the world, you can go to work. The obayane say you yourself up o the in so no share catheter and then no load in so ne go and then it just filter bibia wo yem and then we are and one osan hooking up everything AP echo. And also is a former me a clinic blood. Afe kidney transplant and said the misican and also so say I am very easy. You go on the wait list na fe ye for a while surgery and then you take medications and be your body no and reject the new kidney na yaye a day amount. Now for patients omudru that stage there are some nutrition very concerning and I say in your nidrobia omu ebu on more also omoteso na so mbehia na me can say so na be ya nyina de be hye ho kran na say de be hye ho den ni hu how important are your kidney no eye man na eboy so na be ya at this point are you woman you better try your best. This should serve as a motivation. You betimi edia make some lifestyle changes be into so wahana wuti me now person make lifestyle changes utia ebetimi ahye nkran kakra so okay, I don't want to get to this stage until me say. So uju end stage renal disease now. One of the nutritions are concern so anemia because kidney no there is something hormone be a hormone be a friend erythropoietin and only to me boa e make red blood cells but because your kidney function no it decline no into some of way most of the time no omo very anemic into at least every week biano or say amount ipo no shots no ne be ubetimi ameki sa enough red blood cells no na onya anemic because anemic no so ankasa de asem foforo now so just imagine ade a kidney ya ma yesesi etify free nti yenhwe say hwe akomudin ya this is something that we wouldn't have to think about after so for most people no phosphorus and potassium ade also mo hwe niye kidney no so it helps filter out phosphorus and potassium. And without it, no, no, say kidney names me and ya phosphorus, no, is still winipedium, potassium is still winipedium. And I think we all know phosphorus, no, there, it might not be that dangerous. Kakra, and I say, ubetimi, ubenya calcified body parts, it's me, then, no, but with potassium, no, dear, we know how, for yakoma like a boy with heart say your heart irregularities are one of the things I checking if I say potassium level you're saying any disturbance be a bemuno so one here a bit me when you heart attack into be very strict with potassium and then you're near your potassium film any banana avocado tomatoes into mama hegana you jollof Udin tools never be jollof you into imagine say where you end stage renal disease near catch us a son you also with tesso. I say there. I think so phosphorus in your neighbor most of the time no processed foods and I say you need to know about and also some of the phosphorus additives. However, phosphorus no naturally occurring into any meat and I say then be our by the fire and chicken near them. Need now phosphorus into at this point no Tiana was saying baba betiso. I feel corn, beans, wouldn't mean dinner baby because it says the dinner baby bar a bit disrupted nipediana at that time. In the sample of way, kinky, bound, awache, nyanina, also what is was one to swap wow. And a calcium also becomes a nutrition of concern in tea. Milk foods, dairy foods, no. And also so omoteso into Arahosemba a womb with end stage renal disease and it is a constant battle anytime they are just udi wake fluids say I to head ye catch we have to drink enough water so it filter kidneys near juma a bois na a filter bibia out so just imagine your numunsu upi very dark very yellow just say a money pediano but say yan shet na yan intimi money pediano na say could you stage ya ahoden na ni pediano de we anyakopon sie na ahoden na so tia afi fluids na yenom no yes say baba be share so Emma yintimi nom kra inti in a day no fluids abetimi anom 1 liter omo mutimi make urine kakra no de na bia ya hwe how much urine o make near de aka ho ama inti a day insu a obetimi anom 4 ounce and I say e bia bottle ye kra me 2 pe and abetimi na no kra mpo no obekan won soup aka ho you bia onum tea you're gonna add tea aka ho onum coffee, you have to add that as well into a pneuma bebre and that comes with it, and no sodium. Baby, where salt goes, water follow. So I have money experiments where mommy see if we have fat on sabon chinim. Oh, don't sabo salt na the kakre be can't catch him. Head the way fluids a be rush ayɛ sɛ ɛreba salt no baabi a salt no wɔ no nti sɛ wodi nkyene bebrebe yɛdi nkyene bebrebe no ɛlikyi nsuo no efiri baabi a ade a ɛwɔ sɛ ɛyɛ sɛ ɛboa mogya no na afei akɔ filter no nti menyɛ saa adwuma no na afei one wanya hypertension nti wama wo arteries no ne wo nerves na adwuma na ɛyɛ ne yɛsɛ no ndwo nti ndwo baabi no na ayɛ mmerɛ nti these are the things a yɛka kyerɛ sɛ bi a yɛnhwɛ a anaasɛ yɛka sɛ yɛndi biribi in moderation a nneɛma a ɛyɛ a na yɛpɛ sɛ yɛ prevent no bi no. And I know saying yaya Ghana free na yaba hanom no there are so many challenges that comes with it because say bi on mpa schedules and after baby a wote nti it makes it hard but yenina so no yenim how much nipadua no is so easy is so frill say na hoden no eso bete nti se bibi kakra bi ene ebetimi aya yentimi nye ne mfamboa nipadua no. Usually recommendations are medema nkofo within CKD stage no 1 to 4 no moderation yentimi ntua nipa say bia mendi nchene ana mendi sugar ana mendi fats bibia ye but bibia so nye nti at some point no fruit more bi but edu baby fruit wouldn't be helpful for someone nti this is the time we have to eat bibia in moderation nti menka say bia when you anum juice and I say when you ndi yanom milk but bibia ye di bia na yendi no nketen kakran na afi nneoma yenim se eboa nipadua no say more vegetables more fruits no yendi eno bebre na nneoma a more processed no se ebedi a yeni eno no less so ebia wo busy schedule now pese we do heavy meal no anopa your heavy meal no you eat your heavy meal na wako adwuma na udi bibi kakra bi at the sauce during your lunch na enumere oba na onyam bibi kitwa bi oatmeal kakra bi na udi a obey okay now that's fine afi yen try bebre say ye be exercise say wo feel krempa na wo hwe TV a wo original honoma now movie one sa and no crown put me ma nipadua no like esisusu ye nti wo hwe TV no na wa sorry na we bibi kakra and also we feel no na won nante koba yeah we were able to have more chance no say bia ye betimi akogem and also ye be pia shada work a little mile and so me encourage say yenye sa and I know say a back Ghana ye didi mo a ye kasa bebre na ye duane ye starchy and ye duane ni ye say ba eya Ghana ye duane na ye di no nyese enye eya na eye but how ye si di no enuane no nti se ye tetete ye portions ne so ni ye di enuane ne kakra bi u base say bi ankwan stew o me no dawson na carbohydrate no say bi afufuo banku pesie no ote no so a eno ntimi bo nipadua no and you're still able to get more more food after so see di meat ni di chicken ni di a you make sure say baby a fat no one ye tetete ho ne kakra chicken no ye yi skin no so free ho kakra eno so timi eden eboa nipadua no say me ya kasa dodo nti me baba bijai floor na maye na fe ye nyina yakasa na ya share some challenges bi a ye kom ana say ways a yen a yetifie no nyoma yetimi ya etimi boa ye ema yetimi didi ye kakra nti wo bibi ampacho betimi a share ampacho me jai floor no amaye ni nyina yesu bibi kakra but on pesa metesa mo kasa nti mo so mo kasa me nyina yensu ade that's it. Pacho question bi eni ho. And our contribution, Pacho contribution from bit media ba.
Me pacho, let me be a question kakra.
Patron.
Okay, me then di amaban. So maybe say symptoms ebema obi ehu ebi so wo kidney ni bi obi hu nya pain bi anase bibi mame symptoms in ho kakra.
So with the symptoms no very vague kakra. Inti say na me kind no say bi if the first stage is not stage 1, stage 2 sometimes ni hu no edin kakra. Inti dey bi one of the first signs ubetimi hu ye say bi upi moja wo. Ubehu se moja wo pi mu. Ana say bi untimi njunso wa utimi so ase ojunso swate. So one so ojunso swate. Ana say ojunso very foamy. Ana say very dark. Oko na say be oko physicals just explain that to the doctor no, and then usually no after a certain age, and I think say US 18. After 18 could be almost checking kidney levels na ejuma into say all the overall physicals no cry her GFR GFR na her ebi one mom ya create na ni ade ka ho hwe how much are all filter who say yellow na green that's questionable. You be asking the doctor say why na me GFR my filtration rate na swat say and I say was a level say and I should catch the doctor and say on your kidney testing so or physical be also new kidney test na person so or you we are on throw non sure what's here and also so I think say bit me up but asking some maybe can't like symptoms then it would be very vague into say be on pee in your blood and also the wechi no tire or back wechi etimi or sometimes no and also etimi sign but said the music ebu mpa na wechi na or that which when na ho ye I can't really say but they don't give me lab works na nyade.
Okay, but that's it.
That's it. Actually, any other contribution and I say any comment.
Me patro bit me bisa question.
Oh, patron.
Mami Abigirl ye dance pa se wabe church ye niama kakra ebe ma ye hu aba ye hu so o abrabo ye so akwantu mu. Na the question back me say uka about ye betimi edu baby you can have a surgery. Intina me bisa say can you talk a little bit about the solitary kidney part na say obi betumi you see one kidney and how is that feasible? Can you live a longer time or live a longer life if you're supposed to be on that solitary kidney na?
Oh yes, definitely.
That's it.
Thank you for this question. Usually, at the say end stage renal disease, not say living donor into bibema a donated kidney mawa, you're able to live with one kidney. Until at that point, nipa no donated kidney no, or donated kidney back one. Only pakron so betimi living a life okay considering say onyo bia obenom ononom nsa obedidi basabasa say u donate kidney mo bi na say osa didi basabasa na onye nyoma ebu anipadua na u kidney no ba kope na aka no eno nso ehun betimi eno nso timi emre ema won so ebeka won so ato ho enti you really want to be in your best shape. And not only pakron so we donate kidney back one kidney no can survive you, but how long be a bit me take you no through no and only the means menka individualized how one you see care for nipediano and I say be a before bit me about boom and then nipediano be rejected sa kidney na you donate man and then you have to go back on dialysis and then go get another kidney. But you're able to survive with one kidney, live a normal life, and then you should be fine. If actually means a question, me say in a year, and answer say if there is more to the question, I'll be to me as a year.
Me patron
Okay. Now, chat na me reading, na me a little confused. I think the pastor posted it, and now say what are some foods that are friendly for the kidney?
So when Musa question kahuna fa answer pastor there no.
Patrick,
Okay, because it all consists of the food aspect. Yeah, say most people with kidney problems no. Calcium, you're careful with the amount of potassium that we consume. And share Ghana for yeah. You say potassium is mostly in bananas, any dose. You can afford it. That's where we picture our mind with. Is there any other food a high in Ghanaian food, a high in potassium, and we should be aware of?
Yeah. So usually, anything tomatoes, banana, avocado, citrus fruits, cactus, Sanya na ya usually high potassium. Nti yen no senke yebedi dia ade anka twe ye ba fama na se kidney no ho etechema na yakasati potassium so a ne a lock here down more jollof because you didn't toast never ba jollof no and e bia citruses, oranges, ne pineapples, sanya na ye ba bedi na avocado. Any banana said your kind, those are the top foods into mimboa. Calcium so there you would wanna because the reason they say calcium foods no usually and also phosphorus into most of your dairy foods no have phosphorus. Into that's why I advise to say take calcium. So however soy or almond okay. Soy and I say almond milk or rice milk, that is fine and shut down cause any problems in my kidney. In your mom more dialysis, so I'm a all the time. Me corner calcium I higher. The mechanic say if you switch your milk to soy, almond or rice milk. I say over the counter Tums. Also see young girl reflux near over the counter maybe a pack of top Tums no and also so yeah usually calcium won't be brain so you'll be at the what drew that level now or her calcium I wouldn't advise say I mean we kidney here I wouldn't advise a pack of Tums or more some other options it is a Prilosec and when you say no nim Tums calcium nim. However, would you talk with your doctor first and then have your doctor refer you to a dietitian? That's what I will say. And I will highly encourage say with our health insurance, most of the time it comes with free nutrition services. But opa the only answer call hospital be I will say so insurance ever cover 2 nutrition sessions in a year. Just have it tell your doctor say you would want say on referral to. That's why I go on my referral pin on here. Have your doctor refer you to a dietitian and I say nutritionist. And if one they just look at your labs and you may be a doctor no any far so there will also be a good point of reference for you. Send a bear almost so able to me and no account. And to say, what you are saying now, nutritionist and as a dietitian, that this would be a great way for you. Or call or doctor honum now for your physicals. Now, so insurance, no cover services now. Just have them refer you and then they can look at your diabetes, chronic no hypertension, and then brainstorm other ways a bit to me. Inti pastor question no but your mama me okay inti some foods are friendly for the kidney say before kidney ho ba beto chema ne I would say usually everything is okay for you considering say you're eating healthy inti we make sure say plate we didi mu no and answer bowl we ba be didi no most of the time no have vegetables. And Ghana for no day say most of the time we're eating combination foods. Ubaba bedi yendi nnuane na baako enti se fufuo krompe na wudi ne nkwan a mepacho nkwan no where no mpo no utimi twitwa vegetables gum anasa o blend vegetables bebre eden egum edi fufuo sampesi nso na wudi a I would say yeah yen limited most of the time no like the oily ones no stew no ye chichi ne bebrebe no na se ye di de ye twi ni bi kakra anasa anwa anasa ngondo mpo u spray or pan no now where you stew no to say the way you stew no pepper and no suit meboa because what you're trying to do to help your kidney say you're trying say unkonya any nutrition related disease so na be ya sa nutrition related disease na wo ba benya say be diabetes hypertension any other cardiovascular disease no no and lead to say obeka konya kidney disease patrocent asiu and I say didi aye exercise ahwe nipadua ni ye maintain a healthy weight so na be ya sa healthy weight na wo no emma kofa yare fufu bimbro enam sa yare no so no ebetimi ama kwakwakonya kidney disease enti na that's the only ade awo ye won ade save kidney making sure that you're staying active, you're eating enough portions, no? You're eating more veggies, you're eating your fruits no any color baby varieties, eat varieties and also timipoa. And now pastor first question will say, would you advise that one with kidney failure be better off living in Ghana for treatment than in the US in terms of cost and quality health care access? Is the health system in Ghana okay to improve the condition? Okay. So with this question, Ghana, how are dialysis no see tiana care no to nukreni minimusa but the minimum US anum say US anum there is so much access to nyoma bebre because I have no nyanya end-stage renal disease na near you do true disability so into the 1 year you get some sort of benefit via itimi boao na ultimi ba be dialysis na and then now you go back home care no more coordinated oba yama cardiologist or nephrologist or dietitian social worker inti ye nyina na ye ka bom ene ya hell inti ya ha no more kidney diseases na end-stage renal disease na care na much more tight inti eboa wo mu yi but with Ghana no I don't know how our care necessity anyhow tighter all the interdisciplinary team no omutimi kambom help because kidney no techema most of the time the kidney no kwa na techema or sugar levels or diabetes and so into here endocrinologist or wakoma so enye into here cardiologist inti nyoma bebre na ka bom inti se Ghana etimi provided with that bulk care now. I will say baby I will be on the okay but right now I will say living here no a little much better than say Ghana. I have so okwa away okwa hospital they will dialyze you but Ghana so I know sometimes they're asking you for money before better dialyze so I host them kakra inti past and patrol question I will say cost and quality healthcare access in the US economy is much better. And Miss Adele say I have a patient who was born with one kidney and yes. Into one kidney no bet me the IOBP, I bet me the survivable considering say who did okay, who ye be right. Ahodim said you bet me I Yakopon so bet me abo ama. Even to me review near Ebakwa Sinti. Kakra meeting me account home. Patrol, if there is any questions and ask any contributions, they are Modebeba. And yes, at enter time national names the coordinator and to be take you over.
Yo, yes, Sister Abigirl, that's a power this year and then you really affirm. That's a power, Nyame Enshirao. Me wajide say a yesha platform yisudi obie nya ne hye ewo anye kra no yenim se wase ye hwe ye ho so yie na yankonya yarebone kidney yarebone yibi ebra yede ye dwumadie no eba ewieye no ye besre na yatonsa fresh of mame matabo ahe no ama ye one special song owia